Hi, my name is Jennifer Myers. I am a student at Millersville University. I recently did a field placement of 10 hours for my special education class. I was placed at Elizabeth R. Martin's Elementary School with Miss Cook. There I worked with a variety of children with different diagnoses. Miss Cook's class has children from 1st to 5th grade needing a variety of learning services. When walking into Miss Cook's classroom, there's a lot to see. When walking in, you notice the 12 student desks in a rows of 4. Along 2 sides of the classroom, there is a teacher's desk, one for Miss Cook and the other for her teacher helper. Along the other side of the class, you will spot a half-moon table where children are able to gather around their teacher to work. When looking at the back of the room, you will notice a spin bike facing the spelling words of the week. Here the students practice their spelling words while on the spin bike. Looking at the front of the room, you will see trophies behind one of the teacher desks. These trophies hold great pride from the students in the classroom. A microphone is also up front of the classroom. When a child writes an interesting or well-written product, they are allowed to stand in front of the class and read their work to the class. A smartboard is also found within the classroom, which is a useful tool when getting the children involved with a lesson. To the one side of the classroom, there is many useful tools that can be used for math problems or useful tools when learning to read. Within my time in Miss Cook's class, I worked with children who were between the ages of 6 and 10. This simply means that I worked with children between the grades of 1st and 5th grade. There I worked with a diverse variety of children who were of many races and cultures. To put it in perspective, there was about 40% girls in the classroom compared to 60% boys that I was able to work with. Miss Cook's classroom always had children moving in and out of it. I altogether worked with about 20 students. Although there would be about 10 max in the room at one time, which allowed a good bit of one-on-one time for the students and teachers. During my field placement, I was able to help the students in learning math and language arts. This is a How to Greet Someone New chart, something similar that Miss Cook had hanging within her classroom. She wanted to ensure that her students gain communication skills during their time in her classroom. The chart, How to Greet Someone New, is used to remind the students within the classroom to properly introduce themselves. As a new individual walking into the classroom, the children became excited and a little crazy. Miss Cook reminded them to calm down and to each stand up and do the 5 things within the greetings chart. Each student would look at the visual aid, then follow each step as they introduced themselves to me. This visual aid allowed them the reminder to always introduce yourself properly. Gaining communication skills and proper techniques will not only help them within the classroom, but out in the world. Costumes may seem like something just for Halloween, but Miss Cook has found a different use for them within her classroom. She has found that students perform better when they are in costume during the day. The students are allowed to wear the costumes as they work if they are acting appropriately within the classroom. This is a reward for the students' well-behaved choices. As they wear the costumes, they must continue to complete their work. It has seen that these students wearing the costumes went back to work to stay focused and happy while completing their tasks. This allows them to have fun, but to have their work finished during their time in Miss Cook's classroom. Something that everyone has seen before, a Mickey Mouse glove, an object that brings back fun and entertaining memories of our childhood. Miss Cook allows her students to wear the glove when singing songs in the classroom. Miss Cook is a very creative lady. Within her classroom, she has made up multiple songs that go along with different ways for students to remember terms such as metaphors. She would introduce the song and movements to the students to help with them with remembering the meanings of the terms. Then, the students were allowed to put on the Mickey Mouse gloves when performing the song as a way to help them remember the information. The kids loved being able to put on the gloves and sing for themselves and others. You're really exhibiting good behavior today. Go put 300 points on your score chart. Within the classroom, the students earn points during the school days on how well they are behaving within the classroom. The points are then added up at the end of the school year. Each child will receive a trophy at the end of each school year. The catch is, depending on your collection of points, will determine how big your trophy is going to be. This gives the children something to look forward to, as well as another way to keep them focused and on their best behavior. Also, when a student receives a compliment from a general education teacher on the student's behavior, she allows the student to add points to their sheet. This means the student was not only doing well in her class, but also during its time in the general education class. A whisper phone, something that allows the children to hear themselves as they read out loud. They just have to put this around their head and whisper into it as they read through their material, allowing them to process the information instead of just focusing on the reading. During tests, the children will put on the whisper phones to help them as they read through the different problems that they were asked. This allows them to hear themselves as they whisper what they are reading, allowing them to take the time to process the information, a tool that will help them as they read a book or do a test. My first impression of Miss Cook's class was that it was a little overwhelming. There was children doing different tasks and the teachers walking around working with children individually. A lot of different things were being achieved in one classroom at one time. The amount of tools and materials around the room were also overwhelming when I first walked in. I was unsure of what to do or what to look at first. As I spent time in the classroom, my interpretation of the classroom changed immediately after spending some time there. Miss Cook quickly put me to work while I was there. Being able to work with a variety of children using a wide variety of materials to be able to get the point across of how to do a problem was very interesting. Teaching the children math and reading concepts in a new and exciting way was interesting. They loved it. The tools that were around the room and large amount of individual time I got with the children helped tremendously. This experience has impacted my knowledge of special education. I now see that you really need to step out of the box to be able to get the concepts across when really teaching new material. I found it interesting to see how a spin bike was used when teaching the children new vocabulary words. They need to be moving at times. So, what a bright idea to have them moving while studying their words, something I would have never thought of. I also like the idea of offering snacks for the children as they worked. This kept them motivated to keep going while working in the classwork. One thing that I read within our text that I saw incorporated while in my field placement was keeping the curriculum at times. Miss Cook allowed the children to take the tests that the children in the general education classroom were taking. She just allowed the students extra time as well as resources in order to complete their tasks. This allowed the students to test with their grade levels, just allowing them the assistance that they need to succeed.